All right, Eagles fans, we're 60 minutes of football away from the Eagles going and fighting for another NFC championship, but first we have to take care of the Rams. So today I want to tell you what my plan would be if I was the coach, what I would do against the Rams in order to go out there and win, and also I want to talk about what the Eagles are already doing to replace Nakobe Dean and how it may be a player none of us really expected. And lastly, I do want to figure out why the media hates the Philadelphia Eagles so much. So let's get into it.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is another episode of Philly the podcast. So like I said, the Eagles are on to the next round. We go out there and beat the lame, the garbage Packers. I thought they were supposed to be good. We went out there and did what we were supposed to do. We were a little rusty, but we won, and it was a beautiful win. Now we have to focus on these Rams and what we're going to do in order to win that game, and there's a lot of things going on. So we're going to hop right into it, man. I want to start with the Rams, and I want to start with what I think should be our game plan going into this game. Last time we played them, we gave them a whooping, and it was mainly behind the legs of Saquon Barkley. He had over 200 yards against them. He was doing whatever he wanted to. This offensive line was dominant. The defense did well. They held Puka Nacua for the most part. They held Cooper down pretty good. So it was a very good showing from this whole team, and we will see what happens if they're able to kind of replicate that type of effort. I think they will. Now, offensively, I don't know why. I have an inkling, I got a feeling that the Eagles are going to go out there and try to prove something. We've seen it before, right? Whenever it feels like whenever the media starts talking about A.J. Brown or starts talking about Jalen Hurts and talking about the passing game, the Eagles go out there and just shut them up. So while I do think that the running game is going to be a huge part of this game, don't get me wrong, I think that Saquon should have another 100-plus yard game, another big game for the Eagles, and who knows, maybe he actually takes the touchdown and doesn't just kneel, even though I love it. I love that he did that, but maybe he even goes over 200 again. We'll see what happens, but the Eagles definitely have the upper hand when it comes to the run game and that offensive line. A lot of people have talked about this defensive line for the LA Rams. They've talked about how as of late, I can't hate on it. They have gotten to the quarterback a little bit more. They've created more pressures. A lot of that comes from the secondary, though. And you know, the more that you go into the numbers, the deeper that you dive into what this defense is. There's been a lot of coverage sacks. There's been a lot of quarterbacks having to hold on to the ball because they disguise the secondary so well. So I understand that, you know, Jalen Hurts might have some frustrations during this game, and there might be some times where he holds on to the ball a little bit too much, but I do feel like this offense is going to be ready to go out there and exploit that secondary. I think that after being able to see what they've done, especially over the past couple of weeks, you really dig into those because it does look like they're shooting all their shots, right? They're emptying their load. Pause. Anyways, so you want to be able to go out there and get ready and get your guys in the best position to go out there and succeed. And I think that you're going to have a lot of opportunities, not only in the run game, but in the pass game. And then defensively, keep everything in front of you. I mean, that's really what you got to do. You want to keep guys in check. You're not going to be able to fully stop a Puka Nacua. You're not going to be able to fully stop a guy like Cooper. And Matthew Stafford is a very good quarterback. So what you want to do is just keep them in front of you, keep stuff from getting out of hand. We've been very, very good on defense at not allowing big plays. That's got to be something that continues throughout these playoffs, and I think it will against the Rams. Now, the next thing I do want to talk about is Nakobe Dean. Now, look, it sucks. You guys all know, if you don't know, my dog is named Nakobe. I have a dog named Nakobe. I have a dog named Cooper. You might be able to see Cooper a little bit sleeping on the couch. But at the end of the day, I have a dog named Nakobe. I'm a big fan of Nakobe Dean. I really was high on him coming out of college. I felt that he went where he kind of was supposed to go. He was a project. We saw him getting better with time. Every time he got out there, either way, I'm not going to gush over him too much. Obviously, he's not going to be playing for the rest of the playoffs. We might be missing him a little bit next season as well, but we'll get there when we get there. But as of now, what do the Eagles plan to do? I know a lot of Eagles fans, including myself, kind of assumed Oren Burks, would kind of take over that spot, kind of just be that, you know, right away guy that you just plug right in there. He's played the position. He's done it for us. He's done it with Vic Fangio before. So familiarity gave me the sense that he would be the first guy. But we saw a little bit of Jeremiah Trotter. And when asked, Vic Fangio spoke highly of Jeremiah Trotter, even given that, little Vic Fangio smirk and saying his future might be right now.
Yeah, I think Trot's got a good future. And that future may be now. He's got good instincts, really likes the game. He's smart. He's got a lot of good qualities.
And I love to see that. I think that the kid's a young player. Obviously, he's still got a lot to learn. I think that he's not a finished product by any means, but being able to get him meaningful snaps is always a good thing. Now, going into the playoffs and trusting a young guy like that is a dice roll. It is a dice roll. But if you really feel confident with a guy like Oren Burks to be able to go in there, whether it be cold or whatever it is, you just feel like he's familiar with your system, I think you still have that option and opportunity to put Jeremiah Trotter out there if he's not looking 100% ready, right? I think that's the best way of putting it. If he's not looking like he's just, getting it right away, then you still have Oren Burks. You put him in there and you see what happens. So it's going to be, I think it's still going to be something we're going to have to watch every single game. At the end of the day, it's very hard to replace a guy like Nakobe Dean that's been so productive for this team. But I think last game, seeing Oren Burks and Jeremiah Trotter come together for that big play on special teams kind of gives you a little bit of confidence in this team, and maybe they know what they're doing, right? So I'm cool with it. I like to see what we're doing, and I would love to see him really just take off. If you get a guy like Jeremiah Trotter going, that really changes your mentality going into the offseason. I think right now you could really do yourself justice by going out there and getting another linebacker, which, we will talk about Zack Baun as well, because Zack Baun looks like he's coming back. Howie Roseman was on the Kelsey podcast, and he basically was asked about if he thought he would ever, reach this heights. He said no, jokingly, obviously. I don't think he was taking shots at him or anything, but he jokingly said no, that he would be an all-pro. But he did say, remember that when we bring your contract up.
I went to him, he made first team all-pro, and I went to him and I congratulated him, and I said, man, you deserve this. And he said, be honest. Did you think there was any shot of this? And I said, fuck no. And please remember that when we do your contract.
So it does feel like the Eagles are going to go all in on bringing Baun back, So if you're able to get a guy like Jeremiah Trotter going now, if you're able to kind of see what you have, again, it changes your mentality going into the offseason. In the offseason, maybe I'm not spending money on it. Maybe you get a 4th, 5th round guy in the draft that you can just kind of, bring along because you feel good about the top 3 guys that you have in a Baun, in a Jeremiah Trotter, and a Nakobe Dean moving forward. So we'll see what happens there. But I do think that's big. I think it's big to see what you got out of these guys. Let me know what you guys think. I know Jeremiah Trotter was kind of a polarizing figure when it came to the draft. A lot of people thought he might have been a 2nd round pick, 1st round pick, I saw some people say. But it is what it is. He fell to the Eagles in the 5th round, and I think that this is a perfect opportunity for him to kind of go out there and show what he has. So let me know what you're thinking. Now, lastly, I do want to talk about, look, I feel like we talk about this at least once a season at this point, but the Eagles are always the victim, the center of attention. It's always, what are the Eagles doing? What can we talk about the Eagles? How can we say that there's delusion throughout the team? How can we say there's a problem? How can we find drama within the Eagles team? And that doesn't stop. And I will say this. Look, Nick Wright came out with this weird Patrick Mahomes mountain glazing. I can't stand some of these guys, but at the end of the day, came out with this whole Patrick Mahomes mountain, said that Jalen Hurts is the worst quarterback in the playoffs right now, which is just ridiculous. And then you look at a lot of different things. Right now, look, I'm not going to sit here and bring up a million different receipts. I'm just going to tell you the honest to God truth, all right? They're going to say we have the worst fans. They're going to say that we built a super team, but they're also going to tell us that we don't deserve it because none of our players are that good. They're going to tell us that our quarterback isn't that good. They're going to tell us that our running back isn't that good. They're going to tell us that our head coach is a clown. They're going to tell us this. They're going to tell us that. They're going to say so many different things because people hate us right now. Unfortunately, right now and over the past couple of seasons, the NFL has built a narrative, all right? If you are not Patrick Mahomes, if you are not Justin Herbert, if you are not Josh Allen, you're not going to get the respect you deserve. The Philadelphia Eagles, when you look at their team, all right? And I'm not going to make it a race thing or anything like that, but we are not what an NFL team should look like to the NFL. That's how they feel. There's no way that you should be able to get all these players to come together and play like they're playing, to be a brotherhood, to be a team, to have a head coach that shows his emotion and your players to understand that and appreciate that, to have your star wide receiver on the sideline be within himself enough to understand that. Let me bring a book on the sideline, whether I'm having a good or a bad game, and take a moment to kind of reflect on myself within the game so I don't get too big, so I don't get too outside of myself and mess up this team. That's a beautiful thing, but the media is going to paint this narrative that the Eagles, they're never together. Jalen Hurts hates everybody. He's not friendly enough. He's not nice enough. Shut up. At this point, man, if you're an Eagles fan, you should be used to it. I don't care when you were born. I don't care how old, how young you are as an Eagles fan. You've seen it throughout your life. The Eagles are going to be the main villain. All right, and especially if we go and play we're going to see it now. We're going to see it now against the Rams because you got old man Stafford out there. They're going to be saying he's the best quarterback. Oh, it's going to be nice if he can make another run. Look at how good they were towards the end of the year, right? We're going to get that. But if we go play the Detroit Lions, they're going to be saying they're a team of destiny. They deserve this. It's going to be the most beautiful story. I don't care about stories anymore. I don't care about narratives. I want to win Super Bowls. So y'all can say whatever y'all want to say, and I'm over it. I'm not giving it no more life because I was going to make a whole full video about how the media talks all this and pull up receipts on how they contradict themselves within every single segment, but that's what they want. That's what they want. So at the end of the day, y'all can keep that energy. We got the worst of everything. That's cool. I want the worst Super Bowl possible. I want the night that Super Bowl champion, that Lombardi trophy that we gonna get, make it the worst you've ever made because it's gonna be ours. It's gonna be ours. So you guys let me know what you're thinking in the comments. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. Yeah. But as fly goes fly. And we are out here. Peace!
Everywhere, this is for you.
Yeah. Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.